So you don't believe in God? You're sending yourself to hell. Now, why isn't this scary? This video explores the concept of hell. Hell is a place of, quote, weeping and gnashing of teeth, end quote. It's a place of torments, everlasting destruction, with fire and brimstone, a fire that's not quenched, a bottomless pit, a place with no rest, a lake of fire. I certainly do not want to go there. Are atheists sending themselves to hell? This statement makes very little sense. First of all, according to Scripture, there's nothing that ever happens that isn't God's will. Since God made hell, and He made the rules and judges people, made these people with their flaws, knows in advance what will happen to them, and has the power to change anything He wants at any time, then necessarily He's the one sending people to hell. That's just logic. Second, this sounds like a mafia protection racket.
It's a nice soul you have there. It'd be a pity if something bad happened to it. I tell you what, we can protect you. All you have to do is do what we say, and we'll make sure you won't end up in hell. But if you refuse, you brought this on yourself. I can't be held responsible for it.
This is grotesque. But there's more. Do this little experiment right now. First of all, go to the website bible.cc. This is an excellent resource with most translations of the Bible and includes original Hebrew and Greek texts. Now, in the Bible search box, type in hell. This gives you the occurrences of the word hell in the Bible. Note the books where this is written: Peter, Matthew, Luke, James, Mark. These are only books of the New Testament. Do you wonder why that is? Imagine a God who chooses a preferred favorite people, the Jews, and gives them hundreds of rules. He obviously wants them sinless. But why is that? Well, obviously so that they won't go to hell, but will instead go to heaven to spend eternity with Him. But this God doesn't tell them this. He doesn't even mention once the existence of this horrible place to be avoided at all costs. He hides the truth from them. Why would He want to do that? Let's think about this. Let it sink in. Does He want them to go to hell? Did He just forget to tell them? Did He just not care about their souls? Now, some people will say, yes, there is a mention of hell in the Old Testament. If you read, for example, the King James Version, it talks about hell. Well, this is true, but this is also an incorrect translation. The ancient Hebrew word for the King James Version of hell is Sheol. Look up this word. You'll find that this isn't hell at all. It's correctly translated in English to the grave. This is where people go, everybody, after they die. This couldn't possibly be a fiery pit to punish people if everybody goes there after they die, unless everybody goes to hell. Now let's look at the translations of hell in the New Testament. This is translated to either Hades or Gehenna. Gehenna is an image of fire and death. This is the closest description to hell that we can get, but it doesn't match with the Old Testament Sheol concept. This is used 12 places in the Bible. Hades, on the other hand, is generally accepted as the direct translation of Sheol to Greek. This means Hades isn't the place of punishment where people get sent for their sin. This is used 10 places in the Bible. Well, let's examine the etymology of these two words now. Gehenna, also known as the Valley of the Son of Gehinnom, is a valley outside Jerusalem. After the Hebrews invaded the Canaanite land, some of them converted to the polytheist religion of the land. This valley is where they would go to sacrifice their children to the old gods by throwing them in a fire in the name of bloodthirsty gods such as Baal and Moloch. Hades means the unseen. This word comes from the Greek god of the underworld. This is a well-known deity of Greek mythology. Why were these two words chosen to represent hell? Why not another word like pur, which means fire, or bothunus, which means a pit? The truth is, the words Gehenna and Hades are charged with meaning. They carry with them meanings deeper than the visual depiction of hell that we've seen so far. They have baggage. These words were selected because they were in usage at the time. In other words, these words and the concepts attached to them are stolen from prior religions. This denotes a blatant lack of imagination on the part of the founders of Christianity. Even L. Ron Hubbard did a better job when he created his cult. And this is just one instance of such plagiarism. There are many others. Please refer to the links in the video description. The fact that hell doesn't exist is nothing new. Many other religions interpret the Bible this way. For example, the Jehovah's Witnesses, which number 7 million people, the Seventh-day Adventists, 16 million people, and many smaller denominations. Also, many Jews don't believe in the Christian hell. They stick with the old concept of Sheol, which is the underworld, where all people go after they die. But numbers are meaningless either way, because it doesn't prove that there is or isn't a hell. What we need is actual evidence that hell exists. When pressed, believers can only point to the scriptures. The point of this video is that the scriptural evidence is sketchy at best and completely ridiculous at worst. Better evidence is needed before anyone can threaten atheists with hell. Now, relax. Everything's going to be okay.